Oh boy. Okay. Today I got my new welder from Amazon. And I'm guessing it was shipped from China. You can already see. Leave me down a little. There's a hole in the box there. Let's get you over closer. We're going to unbox this thing and see what it looks like. So far, it looks pretty ugly. And it got wet at first, but well, it's raining like crazy. I'm all wet too, drip all over. Oh boy. It's absolutely in there upside down. And oh my gosh, that looks pretty messy. Let's look in there. That's the welder. I see feet. It's upside down. What'd they do? Just shove it upside down in the box? That's kind of crazy. Okay, here's the ground clamp. There's no ground clamp. Oh, there it is. Here's the ground clamp. Put that over there. Here's the electrode holder. Put that over there. Here's the welder itself. I guess we're just gonna flip this over. I got it back, and it doesn't seem to be real heavy. I don't need to get it at first, and I don't plan on it. But we're gonna pull this thing out of here, and then we're gonna rest this stuff out of here. This thing, they say, does 130 amps. Ooh. There's a little tiny fuse in the bottom of the box also. And oh my gosh, here's a plug for the generator. And there's the ground. You gotta crimp the wires on. Kind of weird. Well, so we've now unboxed this thing. Let's take the cover off. Plastic. Oh, it looks awesome. It's a Jinri, or Zinri. This is the smallest welder generator that I could find on Amazon. Had it actually. They have similar on eBay, not the same exact. It looks a little heavier than one on eBay. I wanted something nice and light I can throw on my hand truck and roll it up onto my truck because I'm not in great shape anymore, so it's a little bit easier to do it that way. So we have to put our wires together with our ground clamp, and somewhere there's a little tiny fuse. Oh, I see it. A little fuse holder right there for that little tiny fuse. And they say this thing does 130 amps. I don't know. That's kind of rough to believe. Okay, and both electrode wires are the same length. Believe it or not, little tiny things. So you got to have the welder right next to where you're welding, at least temporarily. But we're going to fix that too, not right away. I just want to get this going and see if it actually works or not. You know, I've actually bought Chinese stuff that does not work. Well, this one wire has both ends on it. The other does not. So, I'm thinking maybe that screws into the electrode holder somehow. I should sit down and put you guys right in this, but this is just easy stuff here. You know, unboxing and all that. So the electrode. Yeah, this one does not need an end on it because it clamps into the electrode holder. So I gotta get a Phillips head. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna throw all this little stuff together, and I'm gonna put gas in it and oil in it, and then I'll bring it back and we'll see if it actually runs. And then we'll see if it actually welds. Okay, so far we're doing pretty good. I got the Let me get you in as close as I can here without getting all goofy. Yeah, I got it all together. Like I said, the wires are very, very short. You got to be on top of your job. But I'm very surprised they give you a decent Well, I thought it was a decent electrode holder. It fell apart. And the ground clamp looks pretty heavy duty too, and it didn't fall apart yet. Ooh, it is crispy. Yeah, it's funky. So we're gonna replace them if the thing works. First, we're gonna see if it works. But of course, now I gotta fix this first. So. I got oil in it. I might as well dump gas in it right now. This is a minor fix. So I got a nice can of super here. We're gonna put gas in it. Like I said, there's already oil in it, and it should be ready to go just about. I guess I shouldn't really fill it. Yeah, we're close anyway. Good enough. Get the gas can back. Don't be welding, of course. No, maybe. We're gonna see if it welds. I've actually bought China stuff that didn't work. I was able to fix the weed whacker though, but that didn't work. But I fixed it and it ran good, runs good, whatever. Okay, get that off of there. You look like a welder. You know, I guess I can do the initial startup. Does this throttle actually move or is it set? I think it's set. Okay, so is there an on-off button? Yes, there is. Off, on. Okay, so that's on. The choke, I believe, would be okay. Gas this way. Choke this way. I think. Say which way is on and off. But this is choke, and this is on. I'm wondering if this is going to be the same as the weed whacker that I bought. Let's see, gas, off, on. I'm not sure which way is on. I wonder if it's dead already. Huh. So it runs. It runs terribly, but it runs. We can fix that. That's just carburetor. Runs a little better on choke, a little bit of choke. So now I'm going to fix this, and then we'll bring you back and we'll see if it welds. So now we are going to attempt to weld with this thing. I have different rods. I have some 7018, my 3/32, or actually, no, these are 8. So we got a 7018 by 1/8. That's the rod I want to work with this, because it is 130 amps, it says. Okay? If that doesn't work, we're going to try the littler rods. Like maybe a 7014 rod, a little tiny thing. But I'm hoping it runs a 7018 by 1/8 because that's mainly what I've used. So we're gonna see if we can get it to run again. We're gonna I'm gonna start with the rod I really want to use, which is a 7018 by 1/8. So let's see if this starts again, and then we'll have some fun with it. Nope, not yet. We have a problem. Okay, well, it almost struck an arc, but then it died. So I have to check this out. I'm gonna have to pull the carburetor apart a little, I guess. Same as the weed whacker that I bought. It had crap in the carburetor right from China. So we got Chinese crap in our carburetor, or in the fuel system somehow, unless it's just off, because I don't know which way to get it labeled here. So let's just pull this fuel filter down and see what we got here. If it's getting into the filter, it should be getting into the carburetor. Okay, we have no flow here. There we go. Okay, the gas was off. So the gas and the choke are two opposites from each other. So you got to turn the gas forward and the choke backwards. And it may run okay now. It was running on that gas that it got into the carburetor when it was on like that for a second. So now we have gas on the floor. I think we should try it anyway. I think so. Ooh, it's slippery. I think it's going to run a 7018 just fine, but I got very thin metal here because I underestimated this welder, thinking that it cannot be that much amperage. But it melted right through that, so let's see if I can find something a little bit better to weld to. I use one piece of that and weld it to a piece of this. We got mufflers smoking. So if I took a piece of that and weld it to a piece of this, maybe I will be a little better off. What do you think? But then you guys can't see it. How about if we set this on top of that and just try to weld it on there? Why is it all lopsided like that? Is one of my boards different from the other or something? Okay, we're gonna try that. I'm gonna hold it on there for a second and we'll try that. Actually welds. It's actually doing probably 110 amps. It has that whistle like the inverters do. But the only problem is you cannot adjust the amperage. I'm wondering if you can adjust the amperage by adjusting the throttle down a little bit. But you know what? It actually welds. If I gotta go out and weld something that's 3/16, it'll be fine. If I have to go weld an exhaust, forget it. But I do a lot of 3/16 work. I do a lot of different types of work, and this thing will be all right, I think. I am going to adjust it later on and see. But the welds, of course, are pretty well burnt in. Of course, I'm using some rusty metal and some nasty stuff. But it's actually melted in pretty good though. If I try this little tiny rod with it, I think it's just gonna eat it, this little tiny rod. So I'm wondering, like I said, if I can just adjust the throttle down a little bit and see if I can use a small rod with that. Or is it just gonna die on me completely? What do you think it's gonna do? We're gonna try it, I think. Way that tight. I'm gonna have to get a socket on that, I think. I'm wondering if we can adjust the throttle down a little bit to just make it less RPM, which should be less amperage. I don't care about the 110. I'm not going to be using that. Okay, we moved it a little. Let's see if that does anything. Is it on? No. Tell you what, that didn't go too bad. I should get a wire brush and show you. You'll see the holes in the welds from the rust, but the welder's actually burning in very nicely. So I would say the Zin welder actually works, but I think the RPMs had to come down a little bit. It was screaming and it was burning in like crazy and melted right through my metal, and that's supposedly 130 amps. I think it was a little overcranked because it started better, a little lower. I'm going to turn it up just a hair more, but it actually worked pretty good. So I think I'm going to bring this to a job soon. I got to find some wire and add on, or just take one of my other wires and get a quick connect for here, and then I can plug my other wires in. That's a better idea. So that's what I think I'm going to do, get a set of quick connects so I can just plug my wires in there and just unplug the wires. It'll be great. So you know what I should do while we're here? 130 amps, 2000 volts. Let's see. Oh, it's got that special plug. That's right. DC. It's DC 120 volts. So in other words, do not use anything variable drive or variable speed on this because it will burn it up. So you can only use like grinders that aren't variable. You can only use non-variable stuff in that plug. And I'll probably put a regular 110 in there later. So that's the story. I think the Zinri is going to be a hit on small jobs. So I don't know if I recommend it or not. Let's use it first for a while. We're going to try it one more time on a little cleaner piece of metal. It's kind of embarrassing them other welds because I was welding on rusty metal, but I'll tell you what, that's not bad. We're going to try this again just to see if we can get a better one. tiny welder has that inverter type whistle to it. You can hear it when it welds. Okay, a little shaky start for me because I am shaky. Right there is where I started, and it's a little shaky, but a little hole there, but the rest of that looks pretty darn nice. It's not bad at all. It's got plenty of amperage. I'm just a little shaky and a little bit out of shape. I have not welded with a stick in a while. But I'm going to get the hang of this again, because you can see I already did. We're getting close. So I'm kind of happy with the way it welds. It's not real noisy, and all that smoke was paint burning off the muffler. It still stinks, but I think it'll go away. Okay, so I would say the Zinri is a hit. I hope everybody else enjoys it too.